Hey guys, what's going on? This is Cheney 180 and
The Fallen Fed. Hey guys, what's up?
you're listening to another episode of They're Not Dolls.
Episode 245.
245.
245.
Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties, so that's why we're running a little bit late. But let me go ahead and introduce our guest. We have Seth and Landon from Invincible Toys here today. Thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Thank you, Cheney. Thank you, man.
And thank you for being patient with the technical difficulties. I think this weekend I'm probably going to switch this program out because it's killing me. I can't take it anymore.
So Cheney was like, I asked Cheney like 2 years ago, can I be on Toy Migos? Back when I was on RLU with the Geek Out Show. And he was like, when you start your own toy line, come back and see me.
And here we are.
And here we are.
True. Yeah.
And here we are. Here we are today. You finally made it, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And brought my my brother Landon with me, and he's going to show off some really cool stuff today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time out. I know it's late over there, so I appreciate you guys hopping on with us. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Before we get any further, Ernie.
Yes, sir.
How are our chat amigos doing?
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the show. We do got some guests on tonight, so we did have technical difficulties. So I'm sure you shared it everywhere. If you didn't, go tag us right now because I need a story. Unfortunately, we don't have Adam with us again tonight. Again, just keep your thoughts with Adam, please, if you can. We love you, Adam. We miss you. And chat Migos, go share a story, tag us so we can share it. And let's get started. It's time to check in. And how do we check in? You hit that thumbs up like I just did. If you're new to the show, welcome. We are the Toy Migos. This is They're Not Dolls. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications and hit all right there where it says say something. Say hello, hola, what's up? You are now a chat Migo. You are a part of the show. If there's something that you got to say, see that money symbol right there? That's a super chat. Hit that. We will answer your question. Say your statement, whatever it may be. But it's time to get into it, chat Migos. Let's see who's here tonight. And let's have some fun and shout everybody out.
Oh, yes.
We got D. Rasper in the house, the Toy Box of Doom, Lucky Butter, the Wrestling Hound. Woo! We got Mr. William, Soul Brother, Toy Ren Sue, Papa Schmitty, Low Key, Burns Hobbies, The Chamba, Mobile Recluse, 796 Studios, Oxmeat Pete, Dorian's here, Rohan, Omar's in the house, Toy Farce, Action Figure Boncho, Nightwing X, and the Tuesday Crew.
What's up,
how's
guys?
it going, guys? Dark Ball, Johnny Number Cinco, Joseph Joe Kerr is here. Let's see, Plastic Crow, Wing or Lose, how's it going? Dark Bulb. We got Berserk, our other moderators in the house. Thank you to our moderators for being here tonight. We greatly appreciate you guys. Santo 1414, Bat Force Grump, how you doing? Salvador Sandoval, the one and only Jake Peterson. How's it going?
My man Jake. What's up, man?
Arizona Toy Hunters Guild. How's it going, bro? How you doing? Fortunately, I missed you at Disneyland. Gonna have to see you next time. I'm sorry. We were both at different ends of the spectrum.
It's okay. He does that to everyone. He's like, yeah, I'll meet you on over there. Don't worry about it.
Not.
Nobody ever gets to see him. He's like, oh yeah, I'll actually, man, I'm over on the other side. We're gonna go over there. Maybe around this time I'll be there. And then you're like, hey, I'm here. And he's like, no reply. 2 hours later,
true.
oh yeah, no.
Not true. I got a lot of head nods this time. I had my jersey on. I had head nods throughout the park. And then I actually, Cheney, had a cast member stop me who said he loved the show. It was very cool. If I needed anything, let him know. And he wished he could talk Star Wars and toys with me, but he knows that I'm always there and he'll catch us next time.
Oh,
so what's up to you, Chris? I know you check out the show. How's it going?
Now he's fired. Because he broke character.
Did he get you a turkey leg? Yes, for a turkey leg.
No, but I got to rise. No, I'm just kidding. You didn't get me on.
No.
Yeah. I really don't want to get him in trouble. So come on. We got August here, Marvel Kicks, Let's see. I'm trying. Everybody's in conversation. Of course, we love that. Who am I missing here? Let's see. Absolute Toxin, what's up? Just Jeff is here. Getting down to the end, guys. Trevor, how's it going? Sammy Delco, future Sammy.
Future
What's
Sammy
up?
in the house.
I haven't seen him since I've been back. 1-6 shooter. How's it going? Prime to the first. Hey, I hope you got that arcade I sent you for your birthday. That guy makes amazing stuff, man.
He absolutely loved the birthday shout outs last week.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
He loved when I sang happy birthday to him too. So
Brian 3B, Jurassic Jesse's in the house. How's it going, Jesse?
what's up, Jesse?
Loki, Tyrone, Jesse, Fighting Code Names. And let's see, Ulysses is here. And I think that's everybody. Let's see, Cheeb's Toy, Soul 3000, Marvel Kicks, Winger Lou, Shamba. Yes, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I was on it, and then I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Salvador Sandoval, Crescent Blue Zero, Lucky Butter. That's everybody. We're all checked in, guys. Remember, again, go share us, tag us. I'll repost it right now while Cheney's doing more of the introduction. No, Ramos, I said you.
Yeah,
right when I said our moderators. You didn't miss anything.
He missed it. Yeah, he missed.
I'm sorry.
He
there
wasn't
you go.
here. He was
Berserk
he was somewhere
69.
else.
Ramos in the house.
Yes, he sometimes he's just not there. He'll be there physically, but he's not there mentally. He's off in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Land.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's that. All right. Well, for the people who may not know who you guys are and what you do, can you break it down and let us know who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Landon Stewart, and I'm the creator of Invincible Toys, the futuristic combat soldiers. It's a 1/12 scale, highly detailed, highly articulated action figure line. It's something that we have up on Kickstarter, and they're basically kind of futuristic soldiers with, modular armor and weapons and interchangeable parts.
Heck yeah.
And I'm Seth, podcaster, and I work for Scout Comics and Invincible Toys.
Nice. Awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into some of these figures here and kind of break down this Kickstarter, yeah?
Let's do it.
All right.
First off, when did it start and when's it going to end, most importantly?
So it started a couple of days ago. We did it for 35 days. I think we have 25 days left. So we're a little into the Kickstarter. We're at about 32,000 now, and we're trying to hit the goal of 98,000.
Okay.
So that's where we're currently at. But one of the things that we did is we paired with a couple other companies that are doing pre-orders that are helping us out. We weren't doing international shipping just because of the logistics and the cost of it and stuff like that. So we had a lot of people hitting us up asking if we were going to be able to do international shipping. So we're working with some people that are going to be our main distributors in Canada, and Big Bad Toy Store also has them up on pre-order.
Nice.
So yeah, if anybody who wants to do international, both of those places, if you're doing it in Canada will go ahead and do it. And Big Bad Toy Store also has international shipping. And one of the things though is when you get into both of those sites, the prices are a little different than they are on the Kickstarter. They're a little higher because they have their own logistics and stuff like that they have to take care of. So like, for example, our distributor in Canada is actually going to have to get all of the figures that are pre-ordered shipped from California into Canada. So that kind of has an effect on the prices and everything like that. So if you're in the US, definitely check out that Kickstarter. If you don't feel comfortable with the Kickstarter, there's always Big Bad Toy Store. If you're in Canada, then we have eCollectibles CA, and they'll take care of you in Canada.
All right. So where did the the initial concept of this grow from? What sparked the idea?
Yeah, so essentially, I've loved toys like all my life. Like ever since I was little and in diapers, crawling around, I always had action figures, and it started off with He-Man. So all the pictures of me when I was little, I always had an action figure, and that just kind of carried along for like most of my young life. I grew up in Germany, so we were always off of the military bases, which means we were, there with the locals. So most of the kids spoke German. So there was kind of that language barrier. And one of the things that doesn't, that can kind of break that is being able to play and have toys and action figures and stuff like that. So that was one of those common denominators that was able to break that kind of language barrier. So that kind of helped me through when I was little, and it just kind of stuck with me. As I kind of started getting older, I wanted to be a comic book artist, and I never even thought about creating action figures at that age. And it wasn't until I got older and I started seeing the stuff that was put in Wizard Comics, where they were doing customs and people would customize those figures and then they would make it into Wizard. And that was like a big dream for me. So I would go and I would tear apart all of my toys and I would kit bash them and put them together and kind of repaint them with some craft paints and whatever. And I was always hoping that I would be able to like submit that and make it into Toy Fair magazine. Mm-hmm. So as I started getting older, of course, as an adult, there was just a lot of stuff that, companies weren't making. And one of them was the Last Samurai. I wanted, like a Tom Cruise Last Samurai. Like I've always loved that movie. So I ended up going through and watching a lot of videos on YouTube on customizing action figures and painting and stuff like that. And probably my junior year in high school, I started customizing figures and started sculpting them, tearing them apart. And through doing that, I kind of learned like the anatomy of a figure and how it worked, how the different companies would, assemble them and joints, things like that. Taught myself how to paint, how to sculpt, and ended up opening Invincible Toys with one of my buddies. And it was a small toy company that mainly focused on collectibles, adult, collectibles and action figures and statues. And then the stock market crashed. So we ended up kind of having to liquidate that. So that's where Invincible Toys actually came from. But over the years, I kept collecting action figures, and I just decided about 2 years ago that it was time to create my own action figures. So I was sitting there and I said, man, what's gonna be cool? What's something that I enjoy, and what's something that's not, really out there? And I was messing with some of the Joy Toys figures, the 3 3/4 inch Joy Toys figures. And I was like, man, these things are so cool. They got such, great amount of detail, like the paint work. I'm like, and we just don't have that in 1/12 scale. So primarily with me collecting 1/12 scale, I was like, man, this would be great. So I sat down and started just kind of knocking out some concepts. And the first one was the Spartan. So in doing that, I was like, hey, what's going to kind of be that conceptual thing that's going to pull all of these guys together? And then it was like, well, I could do the, warriors and soldiers from different eras and kind of use that as the concept. And that's where it really took off.
Like the show. What was that one show back in the day where they would pin two fighters against each other?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It was like on the History Channel, and then you'd see like who would win out of like Spartans versus
from History.
Yeah,
I do remember that. Like Genghis Khan versus this, and they'd break down the mechanics out of everything of who would win
with the weapons.
Yeah, where you would have a Spartan fighting a ninja, and then they would raid them, and then they would, whoever the winner was.
Yeah. At first, I thought you were talking American Gladiators, and I was like,
"Yeah, that's what I thought." At first,
you forget that? Yeah, right. Did that not come to your head?
Yeah, I was like, well, he said one versus the other. I'm like, but it was only,
I'm all Zap versus Nitro.
Dude, yeah.
No, that's our next toy line. We're not there yet.
Right?
Dude.
How do we not have American Gladiator
Dude,
figures yet?
They had some back in the day.
It was didn't they use the old LJN, the wrestling ones, like
yes.
with the hands?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So like I think Zap was Sable, and then like Turbo was like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but yet they threw on a different head and everything, and yeah. But I get it. Yeah, that's a great concept of going and pitting against each other. So this was a dream of yours, and that's how the figures came up.
Yeah,
so what
absolutely.
we see on the screen here is this Gladiator one, right? Does he have a name, and what's the concept of that one? Or are you looking like to troop build this one?
So this is Spartan.
Spartan.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if Landon can see it. I'm actually on my phone watching.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I don't have an image.
I can see it.
Oh yeah, so we had Spartan up.
Okay, you got Spartan up. So kind of all of these guys, they're all kind of independent characters. They're not like army builders in particular. They actually have specific characteristics, personalities, and stuff like that. One of the things we did is kind of left the line general. So if people did decide that they wanted to go and they wanted to build an army, they could do that. If they wanted to follow the comic books, then they could follow the comic books. But we definitely wanted people to kind of build their own kind of world. Okay. Before we launched all the information, before we started getting into the comic books and stuff, because we didn't want that to really like narrow people's imaginations down. And that was kind of a big thing in doing that. And that's kind of how we mapped it out. So even though people have the option to go through and to read the comic books, to learn about all the characters and stuff like that, they can also go through and kind of build their own thing. And the way it's mapped out in the comic books is each one of the futuristic combat soldiers are kind of out on their own missions to help save the world. And it goes more in depth and it shows all of that stuff on top of it. But I wanted people to be able to go ahead and look at them and use their imagination, come up with whatever they wanted. Hey, this Spartan, he can do whatever he wants. If you want him to fight the cowboy, then he can fight the cowboy. If you want, I've heard different stories and that's really cool. People contact me and they're like, hey, I haven't really like heard the background story on these guys. Like, this is kind of what I think is going on. And I'm like, hey, that's totally cool. And some people come up with some of these really great stories of like factions of Spartans fighting factions of samurai, and these guys are their kind of heroes and they fight each other in battles and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's a really cool idea. And that was it. I didn't want to limit anybody's imagination to what the line could be. Mm-hmm. Right. I know we have lines that are coming out now, GI classified lines. One of the things we did was we made it where the heads and weapons can fit in with the larger characters in the GI Joe classified lines. So you can have Spartan hanging out with your GI Joes, or the Cosmic Legions just came out. You can have them hanging out with the Cosmic Legions, and those guys, they can be whatever you want them to be, and that's one of the great things about it.
Awesome. Yeah, when you can take something and kind of like do your own interpretation to it, or you can stick to the actual concept material. It's really cool because then you get to open it up. I know a lot of people they'll do their own thing with like other stuff that's out there. You'll see like crossovers and stuff like that in photos and whatnot. But,
I've seen someone in the chat say Predator and a few others. So
yeah, absolutely. That was like one of the things that I really wanted to do. I wanted to have my Spartan fighting like the Alpha Predator from NECA, and I wanted to have the Plains Warrior fighting the Rhino alien that NECA did. And I just thought those were like really, really cool concepts. So even though I designed a whole background story for these guys and what they do in their world that we call the Future Descending, they're not going to be limited on my shelf. So
okay. And so which ones are we jumping out of the... Oh, hold on. We've got a very generous super chat from the one and only Andre. So happy to see Seth finally got it. So happy to see Seth finally got a job. Love you guys. Got to go make this money. Catch you on the replay.
Man,
What's
I
up,
love you, Andre.
Yeah, miss you,
Love
love
you,
you.
Dre. Appreciate it. I'm gonna come to Florida. I'm gonna treat you to dinner, man. I got
There you go.
Now that I'm working. Landon, it's a long running joke, Landon.
Yeah.
Since the early days of the RLU, I got fired and I expressed it on air, and he hasn't let me live it down since.
Yeah.
Oh, Andre never forgets anything.
No, Andre never forgets.
Right, yeah. And he always has the perfect time to release it too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah. It's golden. I like you could just see the spark in his eye go off of when he knows it's gonna hit and he remembers it.
He's good. He's good, man.
Oh,
That's why he's just slithering darkness.
Yes. I love Andre.
Yes.
Andre's the best.
So
love you, Sugarfoot.
Once again, we've got RLU throwbacks in here. So
oh yeah.
So how many figures are we starting off with here in the Kickstarter, and what characters are we looking at? So we've looked at the Spartan here.
Number 1 is Ranger. Number 2 is Classified. We've got that Classified. That's going to be one of our stretch goals. We have Spartan. We have Cowboy. We have Samurai, and we have a Spec Ops Ranger. So he's Ranger in an all black suit.
Okay. Yeah, I brought up an image here that shows we have all 6 here. So we've got the Spartan, the Cowboy, the Ninja, the Ranger, and what did you call the green one? I'm sorry.
Oh, and Ranger's the green one, and Plains Warrior's on there also.
Plains Warrior. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's 2 Rangers.
Okay.
One just has a stealth suit. That's a Kickstarter exclusive.
Okay.
That's the one, Seth, with the green background and the black?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Looks like Splinter Cell-ish a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you guys are out the gate with this, and you were talking about Big Bad took some over, is this what's going to be available on Big Bad, or what's on Big Bad? Because I know a lot of people are very faithful to Big Bad Toy Store. So that was great that you were able to get them to come on board, because there's a lot of people who are, that's all they've ever done. Like anything else to them is nothing else. So what is it they're going to be able to obtain?
So that's the big thing too, and we're really appreciative to Joel and taking over the line, with the futuristic combat soldiers. But all of the figures are there. The only thing that they didn't post up were our artist proof, which the artist proof it's Ranger, and it's just in grayscale, where anybody who wants to go an army build, they can go get them. They can paint them however they want to paint them. We're coming out with some other things that's gonna kind of really help that in building your own armies, something we'll talk about tonight. But that's
Amigos exclusive.
Yep.
Ooh,
and
nice.
Yeah.
So you're going to allow them to get a grayscale one and do it on how they want to?
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. That's a great concept finally for somebody to go ahead and then, like you said, so you left the story open, the imagination for everybody to fit them in whatever line they want. And especially at this, now they don't have to repaint it or anything. If they wanted to off the bat, they can go ahead and obtain this one and use it to how they want. That's very 100%. Cool. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we plan on, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about it now since we're on the subject, but some of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be releasing head packs in the grayscale, and we're going to release head packs painted.
Oh, nice.
And all of the skin tones are going to match. So if you have someone who's, Caucasian, all the skin tones will match. If they're Asian, all the, Asian skin tones will match and stuff like that. So you'll be able to interchange them without having, the neck one color, the head another color.
Nice.
So we're going to do a heads pack. We're going to do it in gray in case somebody wants to paint and build their own army and they're good at that stuff. We're going to do the helmets. So we're going to do Samurai. We're going to do Spartan, and then we're going to do the Cowboy where he's got his rebreather on. And if you're purchasing the artist proof, it already comes with the Ranger head and it comes with the Ranger helmet. So these will just kind of, build onto that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll have the painted one. So if you want to go and you want a certain character, but you want a different head on him, then you'll be able to do that. And then they'll all have different hair colors. So usually you'll have the Spartan head. That's the unmasked head.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll come and he'll have black hair, but in the heads pack, the painted heads pack, he'll probably have like brown hair. So you're not like, oh, I got two of these heads, but I can't really use them together because they look like the same guy. Even though they might look like the same guy, you can kind of, spread out your army to where they look different because they have different hair colors. Maybe they're twin brothers with different hair.
So you're going to have a painted heads pack?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. Because do you know how many damn grayscale heads I got that I buy from people? That because I don't paint them, like I have so many that even to the point where I'm like, I get the next one and I'm like, oh, someday I'm gonna paint this. Right.
Yeah, we're trying to keep the options open. Like you said, there is a story. Cool. There is a story. Everyone has their story, and you can follow that lore and kind of collect it as such, or you can be like, hey, I've seen multiple people say, man, I really just like the samurai. So with that, being said, you can buy the samurai, you can buy multiples with the head packs, and then now you have a whole bunch of samurai,
correct,
that you can have, for whatever you want.
So is there interchangeability between the figures? Like, can you swap stuff out for different ones, like pull pieces from the others, or the body's pretty much set?
I mean, that's something we're going to kind of have to work with the factory.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start getting into that, you start getting into tolerances.
Right.
So if, let's say, because they work on kind of a barbell joint, if you have the upper torso and you pull that upper torso off, once you put it back on, you might start getting kind of that looseness and issues with your tolerances and stuff like that. So that's something that we might do, and that'll work great for the grayscale characters and stuff in case you want to maybe change out some certain parts. It'll probably be primarily the arms because majority of them they share torsos, so they have a base body. We have a base body with a t-shirt, and then we have a base body that's kind of like it doesn't have the kind of the t-shirt design on it. So the t-shirt one has kind of like wrinkles and ripples, and then it kind of has a line that runs down the center to add that t-shirt look. And then the other one is more of like kind of like a sleeveless shirt, and that's going to be used for characters who aren't wearing shirts, and it's going to be for the ones with like sleeveless shirts and stuff like that. So it's going to primarily have either one base body or the other, and the only thing that really holds you back from switching is their color schemes. So where you have your Spartan and he has kind of the desert sand armor. If you're like, oh cool, I want to take his arms and I want to put them on samurai, well, you're going to have the issue that you got kind of yellow arms on a red armor. So
yeah, I noticed they're all different characters, and I just didn't know if you were going with if you were attempting to do that or not. Like the head thing is awesome. I like that idea. That's cool to offer different different painted heads to kind of swap around and make, customizable features, and swapping stuff out and making like, kind of like your own personalized kind of version is always fun. Yeah, I didn't know if they were swappable because of some of the characters so different. It makes sense why you would keep it kind of like, I guess, stuck together so that, and then like you said, you don't want to stress the joints and stuff like that.
And I mean, I'm a customizer. I started as a customizer. So anybody who actually does, customize their figures and is fairly versed in customizing shouldn't have a problem doing that. A hair dryer, heat and pop, boil and pop, whatever. And then you'll be able to put these guys right back together. If you know what you're doing, then you're not going to have a problem manipulating the parts and putting them on whoever you want. So if you want to go ahead and you want to take the samurai body and you want to put the Spartan arms on it, a little bit about customizing, you can do that and repaint it, but you would have to end up repainting it. It's not going to kind of be in that line where your grayscale character is, where it's already coming in primed gray, and all you have to do is kind of paint over it.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So let's get to the question of the hour then. How much are these going to run?
Okay, so on the Kickstarter, they're $35 plus shipping. So what we did is we also did a discount on the tier. So if you do one figure, it's going to be $35 with $7 shipping. If you do two figures, it's going to be it's going to have $1 discount. So every tier you add on after that, we discount $1.
Okay.
So yeah, if you buy two, you get discounted $1. You buy three, you get discounted $2 off of those. So the more you buy, the more beneficial that's going to be. And what we did is we did our shipping by weight. So if you buy one figure, it's $7. If you buy two, it's $12. If you buy three, it's $12. If you buy four, I think it goes up. And then if you buy five, it stays in the same range. So pretty much when you kind of get into those like two areas, they have the same shipping. So it's, if you're like, hey, I got
once you reach
four.
Once you reach the pounds or at the certain pound mark, then it kind of stays the same.
Yeah.
So what setup do you have for if someone wants to go all in? They want all six. They want the Kickstarter and they want the Kickstarter exclusive, and then they want all 5 characters. Is that still works in that thing? So it would work as like 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they would end up with $6 discounted off of their total price, and then they could go ahead and they can add the exclusive in on the side on top of that. So once you get in and once you pledge, it'll say, choose whichever tier you want. Once you choose that tier, it'll bring you to the options and it'll open up to go ahead and add in the Spec Ops Ranger. And then if you want to add in any of the grayscale, if you want to add in the comic book or whatever else, you can do that. For some reason, we are having an issue with the comic book. It's like whenever you add in the comic book, it'll take out your figure or vice versa. Okay. So one of the things that we suggest until we can figure out how to fix it is just go ahead, add the figure into the cart. And then when we go through and we send out the backer kit where you get to actually choose the figures you want, you can go ahead and you can add that comic in there. And then that kind of alleviates that problem.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, let's take a little sidestep here and, what lines are you guys into? What lines do you currently collect, Landon?
So right now, I would have to say my favorite is the G.I. Joe classified lines. I love G.I. Joe's, He-Man. So the new Masterverse figures. I got one of the He-Mans. I wasn't entirely too impressed with the head, so I did switch that out and repainted it. I repainted the Battle Cat, stuff like that. But I really enjoy the, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the G.I. Joes, kind of that 80s line, Thundercats. They're coming out with the Silverhawks, so I've got those on pre-order.
Me too.
See. Yeah, I mean those look great.
I had to. I saw that and I was like, man. And people were complaining because they're.
On my shirt.
What's that?
Just pointing to everything he collects on my shirt.
Yeah.
Me too. But yeah.
And those are all things that kind of inspired me to do this. It was like I've enjoyed those things for so long, and kind of the goal was to be able to give collectors something that they would enjoy putting on their shelves. Right. So we try to keep it within a good, reasonable price range. We really didn't mark it up from what it's going to cost us to get it from overseas. So I thought, as a collector, it really kind of hinders me when I end up and I'm like, oh man, I really want all of the figures from that line. And then I get one, and then I might get two, and then they're just so expensive that you're kind of like, maybe I'll eventually get those or whatever else. And then you end up kind of liquidating the two you have because you realize you're never going to really build out the line.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure that they were in a price range where it was still reasonable. People were going to be able to get, all 6 of them and put them on their shelves. And then that's going to continue forward as long as we can do that. So we already have plans for a wave 2. We already have all the characters already designed out. We already have the 3D turns, and it's, I can print out those prototypes, as soon as we're ready. But yeah, so the plan is to continue as long as people like the line, as long as people keep wanting them. We'll keep putting them out, and we've got a lot of great plans for the future of the line too. So I think people will really enjoy it.
Awesome. And Seth, what do you collect, sir?
I collect a little bit of everything, and when I say that, I truly mean it. I'm mainly a vintage guy, but I collect Legends and Super 7, Mythic Legions, you name it. Like, I literally collect everything. So,
Nice.
But vintage is actually, I'm mainly a vintage guy, but there's not a lot of people like that left. So
do you guys like that Masters of the Universe Origins line?
no,
No, you don't like the Origins?
no, I got a couple. I got one right here, I think, but only because it's an error. His face is painted.
Oh, look at
red
that.
lips.
Nice.
So I thought that was cool.
Have you opened them up and checked them out at all?
Yeah. I'm a vintage guy first, so
this is,
There you go. Yeah.
This is my Fisto. This is my special Fisto. My sons recently, we got them into He-Man and Skeletor, the Masters of the Universe and stuff like that. So they've got the Origins, they've got the Battle Cat and the Panther. I bought a $3 cardboard box, one of those big cardboard boxes from Walmart, and painted it like Castle Grayskull and cut it out and everything. And they play in it all the time. But
Perfect.
They were like, Dad, you need to get a special action figure so we can play He-Man together. And this is him. This is my special Fisto for He-Man playtime with the boys.
Nice.
Here, let me flex real quick. This is my Leo Skeletor from India. See the difference?
Yeah.
That's I think that's like a $700 figure. So
My.
What year is that? Is that in
the 80s? It's just from India. It's a variant from India, so you can see the color of the armor is different and the hair or the hood.
Correct.
Yeah, man. So
and the legs and the top are different too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
The legs are just faded, but it's supposed to be that blue. It's too far. Too far. But I have like a camo con and just stuff like that. I don't know. I like rare, hard to find toys. Like that's a Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. You can see the Mickey Mouse on his chest.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty cool figure. But yeah, man, it's
very nice.
Yeah,
I'm different.
Yeah, I didn't know you went that hardcore, Seth. Wow.
Yeah, mainly vintage. Yeah. But I do have so much modern stuff too. I mean, Cheney, I like the comparisons of the two.
Yes,
the vintage and the modern. So I find myself doing that a lot.
Man, I thought you would really be a mark for the Origin stuff. That surprises me.
No, I rather just because I have all the old ones, so I rather just have sense. Those. And then as far as like Revelations, I don't like those because I just rather have the classics,
the old ones. Yeah.
I haven't bought any of the Revelations. They're not fun to me at all. I constantly see them all day, and I pass them up. I haven't got one He-Man thing. I don't know. It's just something about them.
Super 7 needs the line back. I'm sorry. That's it. Just give it back.
Well, I think it's next year or the year after the license opens up to other companies, not just Mattel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you guys collected any of the Ultimate stuff?
The
Turtles, Ultimates, Turtles.
Oh yeah.
Thundercats, anything?
Yeah.
I don't have those. Yeah,
I love all of that stuff.
Johnny, Cheney, and Dario, they have those. Yeah. And Adam has some too, right?
Yes.
Adam picks and chooses those. I don't have any of those ones though.
Yeah.
At some point I have to stop and not go for it.
Well,
but I saw you.
I was gonna say Super 7 is probably my next favorite toy company next to Invincible Toys.
Oh. Yeah, I want to check out those the Disney ones that are going to be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be cool.
Yeah. That looks cool. Landon, I saw. So you have one of the new He-Man ones, huh?
Yeah, I don't know how good that's going to show up.
Yeah, no, that's the one right now that's out there.
So this is my custom one. So I repainted it and I did it in the old colors. He's got the orange greaves, the kind of reddish trunks, red boots. Repainted him, put a new head on him, redid the flesh tones because the flesh tones were horrible. Looked like he had jaundice or something going on there.
They're so pale. Like they're he's very pale looking. Yeah.
There's this Battle Cat.
Painted that too, didn't you?
Yep, repainted the whole Battle Cat, man. That was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it's a big cat for sure.
So when you're saying that you repaint and everything, because as soon as you get them and you see them, you already know the concept that you want to redo and everything.
I honestly, I probably walked by that He-Man as soon as, because people, were like, oh man, we're waiting for it. We're waiting for it to hit our Walmart, and they were getting end caps and stuff. And we got our end cap, and I kept walking by it. And I was like, it just doesn't really do anything for me. I actually like the Origins one better when it came out with the classic head.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know. I think I'll probably just pass on the line. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. Like, I can redo that head. So I was like, oh. So then I grabbed the kids, ran to the store, scooped up a He-Man. And I was like, okay. And that's what I did. I came straight home. I found a head out of my head's bin and switched it out. So then I was matching the color on the face to the color on the body. And I was like, this isn't a natural skin tone at all. This is way yellow.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
it's the Eternia sun. The Eternia sun.
Yeah.
So
good answer.
And I'm definitely not trying to bash the line, because the articulation on it is actually pretty cool. And once I started painting and getting into the anatomy of it and the musculature, it actually is really nice. And it's built pretty well. It has pretty decent articulation. So I was like, man, this is a really cool He-Man figure. And once I had it painted and had the head swapped out and had Battle Cat painted and put them next to each other, it looked really cool. So I was like, all right, and then they did Fisto, and I was like, okay, Fisto actually looks really good. He has a more natural kind of skin tone, and I feel like he's kind of true to the character. And I missed out on that classics Fisto. So I was like, yep, I got to get that.
There you go.
Okay, here's another really rare one. It's the Camo Con from Argentina.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see the difference. Yeah, so this was only an Argentina Top Toys variant. And this is probably my prized possession.
Nice.
So, yeah, man. That's
different. Way nice. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
That's kind of cool. You guys got two different ends. Seth looking for the rare and the old and everything. And then you got Landon getting the new, but redoing it to make sure that it looks good to him and everything.
Well, I still collect the new stuff too.
That's a good series. Flexing with the baby boy.
Yeah,
I've done it at every podcast so far, so
you might as well. You might as well.
That was very smooth too. How he just pulled it out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, that's where I keep them all the time. So yeah.
I'm still waiting on mine. Mine was supposed to be delivered today.
That's your door. It's at your door, Cheney.
Yep. They just didn't knock or ring the doorbell. It's just sitting out there.
Oh God.
God, that's gonna suck if we end and you go out there and you have the tag.
Oh,
God, that's gonna suck. Yeah.
Yeah. The first one, the first of 4 that I ordered shipped, and so I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. And then
it's very weird. There is no answer to the shipping debacle.
It's so
as
strange.
Far as I actually know somebody who got 15. And still hasn't received one of them yet.
Wow.
I have heard one person said that they complained about the knees and their lights weren't working, and they refunded them the money.
Wow.
And they let them keep the Sentinel.
Oh, wow. Well, that's...
Oh, you shouldn't have put that out there, because now people are going to be like, oh, my lights don't work.
Hasbro? Hello, Hasbro? Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
Dang.
Yeah, I've actually heard the opposite, where someone called about the knees and whatnot, and there's a couple other issues with it, and they're like, Go on YouTube. See, there's people doing YouTube videos to fix it. So
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just got a nice person, but
yeah,
yeah, I thought that was crazy. That's a big refund. And
yeah,
then you just keep the damn thing.
Jeez.
yeah.
Yeah. That's insane.
Oh, don't you start with that, Ronald Ramos. He says other Josh got it today. No, don't even start that.
Please no.
Yeah, we
Right.
had
Yeah.
I had a order of shirts for their Toy Migos shirts, and they were getting dropped off, but they went to the next street over, and so the guy had went up to the house, and he's like, "Hey, are you Josh?" And the guy's all, "Yep." And he's all, "Okay, here you go." And he gave him the shirts, and then he left, and I was like, "No, I never got them."
Yeah.
And I guess the guy the next street over is he's also Josh, apparently.
So we're still waiting to see around town,
Yeah,
somebody with Toy Mio shirts
Yeah.
on.
it's so bizarre. It's just like,
Hey. Yeah.
How many shirts did you end up ordering?
I think it was like 4 or 5 shirts, because we had done like a pre-order, and those went up, and then there was like 4 or 5 that were kind of there was like an issue with some of them or whatnot, so those were the makeup ones or whatnot, and yeah, so we had to get those remade and then sent to the right people correctly and whatnot.
You just go to Skid Row. Everyone has a Toy Migos shirt on.
Right. I've waited till this day to see it. You know what I'm saying? Or to go walk the swap meet and see him hanging.
Yeah. Well, we have Seth in here with a very generous super chat. He says, "Back to Kickstarter, everybody." Yes. If you are down with these, definitely go run over there and don't wait. Get over there right now. Go support. Get your order in. That way we can get this get past this this goal here and see what we have for unlockable features. Right? You guys have what is it? I'm forgetting the name of it.
Stretch
right
goals?
Now. Stretch goals. There we go.
Yeah, so we have a character that needs to be unlocked. He won't be made if our goal isn't met, unfortunately. Okay. But we have goals in the Kickstarter, which Landon is going to show you guys today, where we're going to try to help push this thing along.
Okay.
So these are like special goals that we can kind of incentivize people to back it now. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to back it now. You don't get charged to the end, and it helps. If anything, it helps us. It doesn't hurt you, and it helps us tremendously, because if we get funded, we can get all these other cool things. And Lena's actually going to show some of those today. So.
Yeah, so we already talked about the heads. So we're at 32,000 now. We'll probably go ahead and release the heads at 40. Once we get 40, we'll go ahead and release the heads. Okay. And then we want to do the weapons packs. And we're going to do those painted. And then they're going to also be in the grayscale, so you can build out your armies so they can have different weapons. And there's kind of like our pulse shotgun. And there's the samurai sword. And it's kind of hard to tell, but the blades are translucent where you can see through them.
Okay.
So all of those kind of have an energy effect, like those weapons are charged.
Okay.
And they're all going to come in blue, which none of the characters have. So those weapons will all be different colors. Here's the sniper rifle.
Nice.
You guys can see those details on there, kind of blipped out. And you'll have the energy shield.
Oh, nice.
All right. There's the energy spear. So that tip is all translucent. And these are all the printed prototypes. So you can see there's a bunch of details all up in through here that's kind of hard to translate there.
Mm-hmm.
But you get the spear, get the pistol, you get the Spartan sword, and all of those will be packed in. So That'll just be a giant pack, and then we'll have the same options. We'll have the colored options, and the colored options are going to be like a neutral color. So when you buy the character's weapons are painted specifically to that character. So
Okay.
yeah, so when they have like the pulse shotgun, it's actually painted in the colors to kind of match their color schemes. And then the painted weapons packs are going to be a neutral color, so you can put them with anybody. And that's something else that we're gonna look at releasing. And we have a bunch of other things that we want to do. Like we want to do female figures. Everybody always asks, they're like, "Hey, where are the female figures? You know, are we going to get a female unlock?" And the way the molding process is and the expenses on that and stuff, it's kind of hard to be able to fit female figures in kind of in that first run.
Right.
But that's something we want to eventually do. And we want to have a female figure for every one of the male figures. So we want a female Spartan, a female samurai, a female cowboy, a female plains warrior, a female ranger. So you'll be able to get all of those things. And we'll probably end up kind of doing that in like wave 3. We also, if you go and you look at the comic cover, the Future Descending comic cover, there's a dog over on the left-hand side of the Spartan. And that's kind of a main part of his story in his comic book and his mission and everything that he's kind of doing there. And I'd really love to be able to make that dog. And we already have all the sculpts and everything already made. But, you know, just like everything else, you got to kind of get up there. You got to hit those certain goals before something like that would be able to be opened up.
Okay. Awesome.
And again, you keep mentioning the comic books. And so you were saying, is that correct that there's a comic book for each of them?
There's going to be a comic
story?
book. Yep. So there's the what we call it is the world of the futuristic combat soldiers is called Future Descending. Mm-hmm. And it basically, this first one, volume 1, basically maps out where the world is at, the time frame it's taking place in, how it got to where it is. It kind of describes the bad guys, and then it kind of starts getting into the characteristics of Spartan. So volume 1 is going to be about Spartan, and it's going to be about the mission that he's on and what he has to accomplish. And it kind of, like I said, explains the world and everything like that. And then the plan is to go ahead and have volumes after that are kind of doing the same thing and following each one of the characters through their separate missions. And then it's going to go ahead and expand on the world, expand on the characters, and then it's all going to kind of come together in the end.
Okay. That's awesome.
All right. Yeah, I'm bringing up the images here. We started with the cowboy and the Spartan, and so you've got the removable armor there for the chest, and we've got the cloth cape there, which looks pretty nice. Yeah, so
the cloth capes are actually going to be wired. It's going to be wired all the way through. We're working to make sure that wire, it's not too thick or it's not too thin. It's kind of that good in between. So it's going to be able to keep
You got the proto with you?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look right here, here's the prototype. And that's actually.
Yeah. All right. We're back. Okay.
Cool. All right. So here we go. Here's the prototype of that cape. And you can see how it'll hold whatever pose you want. All the folds and everything look really natural on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So whichever weapon or way you want to go. Something else that we did is and hopefully we'll be able to make this happen too, is we went and we put 2 different colors on it, so it's double-sided, and then we put a clasp on there, and with that wire you can go ahead and you can reverse that,
right,
and then you'll have a different color. So if you want your guys in different colors, you can do that. And then, like I said, there's a little clasp on those, so you can open it up, you can clasp it. If you have somebody who's maybe bigger or somebody who's smaller, you can fold that back into itself. And something else we did is we actually weathered the capes. So I went through and airbrushed, browns, different tones of brown onto those capes so they look weathered. So it's not like, your guy just showed up and he's like, "Hey guys, just got the cape from the wash,"
right.
Starched it and everything.
Very nice.
It never makes sense when you get a figure and the cape is so bright and clean and shiny, And this guy's supposed to be a warrior. Like, where's the grunge at?
Yeah, Landon's thought of everything.
I really love the reversible effect. Are you going to do different colors on the capes?
Yeah, so the each character has a different color. So if you look at Cowboy, he actually has like a blue colored cape. I think we went.
See, good stuff to mention, because when you're doing a Kickstarter and you're doing this company, and the passion that you put behind this, as far as thinking of the airbrushing and weathered, and that, why I'm asking different colors is because, as you guys know, being collectors too, sometimes those stock photos that you see isn't what you end up with. And everybody has the red and black cape, and that was it. Because, the photo, we were using something different. So, yeah, that's cool. Then if, you're going to get different colors.
Yeah. And some of this stuff, everything that you see that you're looking at on the Kickstarter, those are all the prototypes. So we're actually in the process of tweaking them right now. So one of the things that I thought was, like, I wanted to add some more texture to the pants. They're supposed to be in combat pants. And if you are a little familiar with that, the material, it's a ripstop, and it has a very specific pattern. So I wanted to go ahead and add more details to those. I wanted to add more details to the pouches. I wanted to make the armor more modular. So we're working on installing a hole in the back. And the way it's going to work is there's going to be a hole, but it's also going to come with a separate peg. So you'll be able to go ahead and peg that into the back, and then take your weapon and put that onto the peg. So instead of having this big peg hanging out of your weapon, you'll just be able to, you'll have a hole there. But I felt like that was less intrusive than having the big peg.
And having the peg on a weapon. Right.
So then if you want to add a backpack, you could pull the peg out. And let's say you took a Joe backpack, you would be able to put that in and be able to use it. And that's kind of the process of where we're working on things. Something else we wanted to do is we're working on building in a portion on the leg that, instead of having a strap around the leg to hold those holsters in, you'll actually have a pegging system where you could pull that out, flip it around, and put the peg in, and then that holster will stay on the leg. And if you want it to be clean, you could pull that out, flip that section around, and you have that clean section again. So just a bunch of little things that we're constantly trying to update. People are like, oh, I don't really like this. There looks like there's gaps in the arms. Well, when you're working with prototypes, every prototype goes together different. I've had some that I'm like, oh man, these arms look great. And then I've had some where I'm like, oh man, I've got like this gap here or gap there. And or some, the legs go together great and the arms are a pain in the butt. It's just, the prototyping process and assembly, it's really tough. I don't think people really understand that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get the concept behind prototypes. There's a lot of you'll see sometimes people will they'll roast a photo of a prototype because it's posed a certain way, and it's like, Adam has helped explain that to us before. He's like, dude, the amount of glue that's holding that together and what they had to do to get that thing to even stand like that is amazing. And Johnny, he can attest to it too. He's like, when he first started with Super 7, he was talking about the process of taking photos with prototypes versus like legitimate figures. He's like, it's different. It's a completely different ball game.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's it, like 100%. So we turn these over to Connor Tierney, and he's Press Pause Photography on Instagram, and he takes some gorgeous pictures.
Absolutely.
And he did these for us, and he's our official photographer. But I told him straightforward, I said, look, man, get ready, because it's going to be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but if you can do this, if you can learn how to kind of manipulate these figures and you get used to working with them, it's going to be a huge thing that's really going to help you out in the future, because there's not a lot of people that know how to do this and understand the process of working with a prototype.
Exactly.
So he was really cool. He took on the challenge and he got them. And in the first day, I'm like, hey man, how are they? How'd they hold up? And we had an issue because we're here in Florida, and we have weather, it's 98 degrees, and where he's at, it was like -13 or some crap. Like, it was ridiculous. So the resin had expanded and then shrunk, and it caused some of the parts to break off.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, oh dude, man, like it's missing an arm and stuff. And I said, look, man, Just get some blue tack it back together. It's okay.
Yeah.
And so he's like, and he's showing me all of these pre-pictures of them, and there's like blue tack all over it. And he's like, oh man, like, don't worry about the blue tack, I'll fix it. And I said, look, don't worry about that. Just do what you got to do. You can send them to me. I can fix them. I can put them back together, and don't worry about it. But he did an amazing job taking those pictures. But we get a lot of comments on it, and it's like, oh, there's a gap in the arm, like, oh, this paint doesn't look like it's from, factory paint job. And it's like, it's not. I did that by hand, like right. I airbrushed all of these by hand. That's not, what you're going to get from a factory.
Right.
So yeah, it's the prototyping process. It probably takes me about 3 days to do a prototype, from taking it out, cleaning up all of the parts, the prints, and then going through and assembling it and having to paint it. It's about 3 days for one.
You can see the process on Invincible Toys Instagram page. He actually did the whole process on there to show people.
All right. Oh, let me bring that up here. Let me say what's up to the Butter Baron. He's in the house here. What's going on, sir? We also have Yoko. Yoko is here as well. What's going on? And Salvador, he's in the house.
Sunny.
And Sunny, yes, Sunny is
Sunny
here.
Channel.
Oh Sunny, hey. I love the Sunny Channel, man. That if I'm having a down day, man, I will watch the Sunny Channel, and I love his aluminum foil.
Yes.
I told him, I said, dude, I'm gonna make a chrome futuristic combat soldier just so you can put foil all over it. But I actually got some of the prototypes here. Right there's Spartan.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll get in there for some of those details.
There you go. Yeah.
Right. And let's see here. Here's the Spec Ops Ranger.
And do those
that's the exclusive one, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's the exclusive.
Okay. Do those helmets go over the heads, or do they swap out with the heads?
No, they swap out.
Okay.
Yeah. I just found that a lot of times when you make it where you can, actually put it over the head, that it realistically, it's really big. Just like if you were to put on like a motorcycle helmet, you look like a bobblehead.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
Comic books and stuff like that, the way the scale and the size of heads are, they're actually the same size as a normal human head. And that's what we did.
Yeah, no, that usually works out better when you have the swappable head there. Yeah. I just wasn't sure which one was.
Speaking of swappable heads, Landon, you got them?
Yeah.
You got swappable heads.
You talking about our grayscale heads?
Let's show them.
Yeah, we showed them a little earlier, but we got no problem getting in there and seeing if we can get some.
Nope. Small
Which
fin.
Ones?
Small
Which
fin.
Ones?
Small fin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Oni. Yeah.
Yeah, let me go grab those quick.
So we remember how earlier we were talking about having like, where they're not stretch goals because we didn't reach the goal yet, but they're kind of goals, I guess. So once we do reach like 40 grand, incentives. There you go. Yeah. Like that. I like that. So the incentives are like the weapons he showed and what he's about to show us now. So.
Yeah, so some of the things like Seth was talking about was we have a bunch of things already kind of planned up, and we're just trying to hit those goals so we can get into them if possible. So with it being kind of one of those options to army build, you can actually see there.
Let me see if I can make this bigger here real quick.
Yeah. Well, we got a super chat by Jesse while we're waiting.
There you
go. I know this is a new venture, but will there be humanoids, aliens, creatures, vehicles? Possibilities are endless with this line. Jesse, that's what we were talking about with the imagination, man. I love your imagination. Landon?
Okay.
So
humanoids,
yeah,
alien heads, creatures.
all the
Um,
above. That's
I just
what I
don't know
will
what
say.
you want to talk about because I know there's a couple things,
Yeah.
but I don't know what you want to mention.
So, when you kind of get into the comic, you get to see what the futuristic combat soldiers are fighting, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. But yes, there's a lot of things that are very popular in are some of those things that you mentioned in there. So yes to a lot of those. But yeah, if we want to look at the heads, this one it's a little harder to tell because the resin it's painted in, but you can get kind of the idea of what's going on there. So this one is actually the Spartan helmet compared to the regular Spartan helmet, and this one actually has the smaller fin compared to the normal one. And that was one of the things that we eventually wanted to get to, was to be able to release the one, with that smaller fin, so you could build out. Let's say you're like, hey, I need 300 Spartans and a Leonidas. Here you go. Here's your 300 Spartans, and there's your Leonidas. You get a couple heads packs, you got a whole army.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then you can flip the cape, and then some could not have the cape. You can have like a small fin with the cape on the black side for maybe like his second hand man, and then you can have like more with no capes. It's endless.
So this one's the samurai head. You can kind of see. Let's see if maybe
the Oni mask on there.
Yeah, if we'll try to get in there a little bit
Oh
better.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, you
But
can bring
you
it
can
a
see
little
all
bit
the
closer there, and I think we're okay. Yeah, because you're full screen right now, so everyone's able to see a lot better.
Yeah, so this one actually has, if you look at the original one, the front of the mask is actually, flat.
Mm-hmm.
But this one actually has the Oni mask, and it has all the teeth, has the mouth, all of that stuff.
I'll tell you right now, Ernie's probably going to order that one.
Yeah, I was, because that's what I saw him pop up when we were trying to go to the pictures, and then we kept going back and talk about other stuff, and I'm like, dude, I want to see that samurai. Yeah, that's real nice right there.
Yeah, so this one's a little harder. You really can't see, all the detail that's in these, but you could get it kind of a gist. You can actually see kind of the ridges that are there in the hilt of the sword, and there's a bunch of lines. And these things have to keep it streamlined and to be futuristic, they're just packed with a ton of detail. And that was one of the big things. Like, I'm a no sacrifice kind of person. Like, I wanted the details, I wanted the paint, I wanted the articulation. I didn't want like kind of a one or the other kind of deal. Like, oh, it's got great articulation, but the paint sucks. Oh, no, put it all in there. Let's do it. If we're going to do it right. Take the time, invest in the figure, and put something out there that's going to be awesome. And I just don't see any reason not to. If you can, then you can. But yeah, this is actually a broadsword. It's kind of cool. So you have a bunch of different sword options. We call them power packs. So it'll be like, different heads for the characters, different weapons. We've got revolvers for Cowboy, because people are like, he should have a revolver. And, I agree with that 100%. But, in the molding process, we got one pistol. So it was like, okay, this is what we're going to go with, that we can go with across the board. And then we'll work towards kind of getting more specific weapons and stuff like that, and do it in these power packs. So that's definitely something that we're working towards right there.
We got a very generous super chat from Berserk. He says, will you have a figure named the Slithering Darkness, or at least a weapon called that?
Listen, Mr. Slithering Darkness. Okay, I saw what you said on one of the other Kickstarters, that you would drop a lot of money on figures if we named something the Slithering Darkness.
That's correct.
So if that's what you want to do, you hit me up. You let me know what weapon you want to call Slithering Darkness, and we'll work it out.
All right. So when Andre hits the playback,
I'm really curious.
You're curious to see what Andre would pick?
Oh, wait a second. We did something.
What that would be?
We made a whip gauntlet for Cowboy. I don't have it with me, but we worked with bendy webs. You guys have probably seen them on Instagram. Great guy, makes all the bendy webs and stuff like that for the Spider-Man figures. But we collaborated and came up with something, and it's a gauntlet that goes on Cowboy. It could be on any of the other characters, but it goes on Cowboy, and it has a whip that comes out of it, and it's going to be articulated. So if we get to that point, that's something that we'll have. But that could be definitely some slithering darkness right there.
Absolutely.
It has to be at least 9 inches long, though.
Whoa.
But yeah.
I love it.
You're being humble. I'm sure he would say 12.
Well, that's a whole mold right there. That's $10,000 worth of whip for 12 inches.
So we're definitely going to need to reach these stretch goals.
Yeah.
The Slithering Darkness.
That's a huge stretch goal.
Yeah, no pun intended on that one.
Right.
No.
But yeah, like that Oni, so I'm backing. I'm going to get a couple samurais, and then I'm going to put the Oni mask on my main one. And then the regular one, man, I might need 5 because then I'll have 2 regular ones and then 2 unhelmeted ones in the back, like they're the pawns or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of custom, there's definitely a lot of army building and a lot of custom ability you can do with these things.
Does a samurai come with a cape?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. I just brought up the samurai right now, Ernie.
Yeah, I tried to kind of. Even though obviously we're in a sci-fi kind of world and stuff like that, I try to keep certain things within realistic realms because I feel like that's something that the mind grabs to. Sometimes you see something and you're like, well, that's kind of stupid because it doesn't really make sense. And of course, it's sci-fi and it's superheroes and stuff like that, so things aren't going to make sense all the time.
Well, it's your world. You get to call the shots. So
yeah, no,
it's all good, man.
Yeah. It was one of those things where obviously, Spartan has capes. So that was kind of one of those things. Correct. I felt like Cowboy would have one because he would be out in the desert and he would have to kind of protect himself and stuff like that and cover up.
It's more like a sash. What is it called? Not a sash.
Like not a shawl.
Shawl, yeah.
Is it a shawl?
Yeah, I get the shawl vibes,
So looking at this
cloak.
There you go.
Cloak.
Looking at the samurai here, I can't help but look at it and go, man, you guys could do some color palette swaps with this easily. You could do a black and green one. Or you could do, one with blue instead of the red, Like I think people might eat that up for sure. That's just my personal opinion, but an idea for sure.
That's something that we wanted to do, just like the Spec Ops Ranger is, we're completely down with doing any different colors. And that's actually, it's not hard because the molds are already done and you're just changing them the colors. So let's say we get X amount of figures. We don't have to have, X amount of just the camouflage ones. We can have, a couple of these, a couple of those, and a couple other ones if that's something that people are interested in. If we hear enough where people are like, I want them to look black and white like stormtroopers, or we work with e-collectibles in Canada. I mean, that's something we could do. Hey, how about a white armor with a blacked out face shield and a red Canadian leaf on the shoulder pad, something like that. That's you have those options, just like the exclusives. If somebody wants to take those on, if Big Bad Toy Store were to say, hey man, we want our own exclusive, we want them in this color palette. Yeah, absolutely. So once we get going, if that's something that people want, and we're very open to things. That's one of the things Seth will tell you. I've never heard an idea that I don't consider. It's like, okay, hey, if that's possible, if it's something that we could do and it kind of makes sense to the line, then I'm always open to those things. So if people want it, we'll do it.
Awesome. Ernie, you have any questions?
No, I'm liking it a lot. I did like the idea as different color swaps for a character like the samurai. If we get back to that different head, because looking at the samurai, like on Big Bad Toy Store that has the other pictures of it, I like the green effect on the sword as well too. That's really cool. So seeing, I'm with Seth as far as a setup of getting your 5, like 2 on the side, another 2, and then your main one. That's cool. So I know you talked about weapons pack and everything. So doing that sword with different colors, have you thought about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We work with another gentleman named Tyler, and he's working on the actual 3D sculpts and stuff like that now.
Yeah,
And that was one of,
sculpts.
yeah,
You
that's
guys
one
know
of the
Uncanny.
things he was like, hey man, you know, we need red ones. And I said, hey, why don't we just make all the colors of lightsabers?
Yeah.
Just make them blue. We'll make some red, and that's something that we can do. If people, like I said, if people want it, if that's
Right.
something that we hear enough about, they're like, hey dude, can we get red? I just went with blue because I felt like that was kind of a color that we didn't do. And I felt like that was kind of a hero's color, something that a hero would be running around with, or maybe something that would be kind of a neutral color that your army would have, something like that.
Are you going to do the samurai in the grayscale?
Like I said, right now, the option would be to get Ranger in the grayscale and then get the heads pack and then put the head on there. That would probably be the way to go. We kind of had to go with something that was going to be military, going to be kind of neutral. And then you could, if you want to add them on and change out their heads and stuff like that, then yeah.
Yeah, and I love the head sculpt of the samurai as well too. Now that's not a different head, right? That is the head that's underneath. If you were to take off the helmet and everything.
Yeah, if you see any exposed faces, it was built directly on to the original head sculpt. Because obviously you don't want to like be looking at something. You're like, that's not the same eyes that's under the helmet. So I'll show you an example of that here. But this is see if we can get these guys.
Because I love the samurai head too. It's really nice.
Yeah, so this is Cowboy.
Okay.
And if you see there, I mean, there's the unhelmeted head.
Yes.
And then there's him with his rebreather mask. And you can see that sculpted directly right on to his regular head.
That's very cool. That's a really nice sculpt.
We have a very generous super chat from Eric Alfred Abel. Says East of West Cowboys and other characters are right in this wheelhouse. Thank you.
Awesome. For that. Yeah, we I kind of aimed for a figure for everybody was kind of what I wanted to hit on, where somebody could say, hey, you know, I might not like the Spartan, but I like the cowboy. I might not like the cowboy, but I like the samurai. And then, you know, maybe get that figure. Like I said, you can army build them, or even maybe that person gets them and they're like, hey, you know, this is a really cool figure. I'd actually love to have the different ones. And something that that kind of appealed to me when I designed them is I designed all of the characters first, and then I designed the story after for the people who are like, hey, I need content. I need the content. I need to know who this guy is. I need his backstory and stuff like that. But I initially designed the figures first, and then worked on their background stories in the comic book. So something that I thought was cool is to be able to have these different types of error. Like, hey, I've got the Spartan, and I got a cowboy, and I got a samurai, and then there's, you know, other ones. I got a plains warrior. Like, these are all different interpretations of different times or different places. And that was something that kind of appealed to me, kind of like a little history lesson on your shelf. It's kind of neat.
Heck yeah.
Here's what I think you're thinking about, Ernie. If you can see so that's the paint. You know, the unpainted one that you can get, and you can literally put the head on this one.
Correct.
Paint whatever color you want, and with the weapons pack, you'll get the sword with it. So
yeah, because I like that effect on the sword too, and you can build up from there.
Yeah. So it would be simple enough to just
actually gonna rub. You know, so it's not like we just kind of slapped it on there. It's actually, you know, very specific to the figure, and hopefully that'll transfer over.
I like that.
Yeah, and then let's see, here's the other one. And you can't really see the details as great because of the color, but you can actually see, you can see where the crest is shorter and it's wider. Same eyes, you know, same head underneath, nothing changed there. But you got the teeth, you got the mouth open, the nose, you got all those details. So yeah.
General. That's gonna be my general right there.
Let's see, where's his sword at? I had a sword here.
Right, with the mask on. Yeah, I'm feeling
Yeah.
that too, Seth. Yeah.
So yeah, there's the green. That doesn't come out.
All right, we had some kind of issue here. Can you I know you just showed it. Can you show it again? Because the stream was lagging really bad. We got
No problem. All right.
Yeah, if we get a couple more super chats, then we can probably upgrade our service and switch the stream by next show.
So
That might be a promise. Yeah, guys. So what we were missing was we've been talking about looking here at the samurai, which is a cool one where Seth was talking about, you know, here you order 5 of them, get that Oni mask head, and you have your leader right there. And what I was asking was about the different colors and everything.
And so the Oni mask, that's a separate that comes in a heads pack.
Well, that's something that we have to hit. We gotta hit our goals first.
Okay.
Something I wanted to show too is if you look right there on his head, see if we can get it. He actually has a top knot. You know, that underneath is all shaved, and he has that top knot.
Right.
Which I thought was really cool, you know, to do that. But yeah, these we're gonna go and we're gonna do the grayscale heads is probably gonna be at 40,000. Then we'll probably go and do like the painted heads after that. But as far as these actual, like the Oni mask, the shorter finned Spartan helmet and stuff like that, we've got to reach that $98,000 stretch goal before we can start doing that. So what they did is basically this is going to cost for, you know, everything to be made, and that means molding. So they have, you know, injection, these big steel blocks that they do, and they inject plastic into it. But each one of those costs about $10,000,
right,
if not more.
Right.
So to make the figures, we have to hit that goal. To make anything over those figures, like these extra helmets and swords and weapons and stuff like that, we've got to be able to exceed our goal to be able to start making those things, because we have to go in and start paying for that new molding.
Right.
And that's one of those things. And I think it's like one of those, when somebody thinks about toys, you walk down the shelf and you see Fisto here, and he's done. He's painted, he's done. You know, you see him, he's $14, and you don't really think about the process that really goes into it, how much it cost the company to make it. You know, like,
or the other question is you walk down the toy aisle and you see a figure that is the same, but it's just repainted. Why would somebody do something like that? Why would you just repaint the old body and put a new head on?
Right. So, and I mean, I don't know how familiar everybody, you know, people that are watching, but yeah. So all of that stuff cost a lot of money to get all of this stuff made. I mean, myself just getting the prototypes done, working on the comic book and stuff like that, I've already invested $20,000, you know, over the span of 2 years. And people are like, whoa, dude, that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I love doing what I'm doing. And I was, you know, passionate enough about it to put that type of time and effort into it. But that's not money that, I always talk about it. It's not money that I'm recuperating. I'm not actually getting any of that back off the Kickstarter. I didn't put that into the price, you know, and say, I'm getting my money back off of this. That money is just what I've invested. That's, you know, something I'm okay with, and so on and so forth. Right. But that's expensive. You know, $20,000 isn't something that's just that easy to come up with and to separate with. So it is. It's very extensive. It's very lengthy. It's a lot of kind of back and forth with the factories to make sure everything's right, make sure all those tolerances are right, that the colors are right, that everything functions properly and stuff like that. Right. So what those guys are doing is they're taking, you'll see McFarlane do it a lot, is they'll take that same character, like the Azrael. They did the Azrael, and I think they've came out with like 3 color variants for him.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll go ahead and they'll repaint it, and then people will purchase it again, and they're recuperating that money for the molds because they have to invest so much into them to get that character that's unique every time. When you go in and you get a unique sculpt, that means that they're having to pay for those molds. If they take a character that's already been done, repaint it, you're only having to pay for the repaint, and you've already got the molds done.
Right.
So this works.
Yeah, I think looking at through all of them now, I really think the samurai is a good candidate for repaints for sure, and the commando as well.
Yeah, I like the commando because of the versatility.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I kind of want one painted like a stormtrooper. I kind of want one painted, like a Mandalorian or something. Like Boba Fett colors or something. I just think it's a cool figure to just play with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Seth keeps telling me he's gonna buy a bunch of grayscale, and then he's gonna send them to me, so I have to paint them for him.
Yeah, he has to paint them.
I'm like, man, I didn't come this far to keep painting all these guys.
But at least I put together for you already.
Yeah, I put in all this hard work so I could be your personal painter.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start charging them by the hour.
There you
like,
go.
Hey, man. I'm a professional, you're gonna have to start paying the money for you to paint these things.
Yeah.
But something cool though is like you said, the neck pegs on these things will fit some of the larger Joes. So if you wanted to buy, another figure, you can also put, vice versa as well. If you think about it, so you can put a Joe head on one of these bodies,
mm-hmm.
or a Legends head. I don't know the neck peg. I think they're about the same between Legends and Joes, or no?
Some of them
differ. Yeah, some of them fit, some of them don't. They're kind of all over the place.
This is something that's kind of neat that I always do. This is a gung ho body, so obviously the roadblock, they're the same body,
right?
If you want to put helmets on them, but one of the cool things is I like to just stick that Spartan helmet on there.
Nice.
And here's get like a Ranger head.
Okay.
So now you even got customization.
Yeah.
Between lines, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, swappability. Everybody loves kit bashing. Kit bashing is super duper fun.
Yeah, making it easy. Even the armor can come off of the features of combat soldiers, so you can even throw it on there as well.
Heck yeah.
And make your leader that way,
Yeah, that was just one of those things. Like, I mean, I guess we didn't really have to do it, but I thought it would, just because I love customizing stuff myself. I'm like, hey, if other people can do it across the line, then that just kind of adds more to the cool factor. It's like why not? If we can do it, why not?
Absolutely. So, yeah. No, if you can, everybody loves being able, like, say, you get all 5 and you're like, okay, I can switch here or switch there. If I get 4 or 5 of the same one, then you can make them look different. You can have a team that have different traits, placed upon them. So
absolutely.
You can make up your own little story there. So that's really neat. So how long is this Kickstarter open for? What are we looking at on the window here?
Seth, are we at 24 or 25
days? Yeah, we got 24 more days.
24 more days. Yeah, so we've got a little while, to go to meet those goals. There are some things that we can't see. We don't really know what Big Bad Toy Store's numbers are yet. We've reached out to them to find out what those are, so we can kind of take that into consideration. And what'll happen is they'll take their pre-orders and then they'll put it towards the campaign.
Right.
But if, let's say, their pre-order numbers, I always like to stay positive. So I always like to talk like things happen, when they put their pre-orders in, they'll have X amount, we'll have X amount, those things will be combined and then we'll be funded.
Right.
So, but
But the goal is to get funded before you get that
Yes,
that big bad toy store thing in there. So ideally, what you want is you need people to get in there, sign up for the Kickstarter, you know, get as many as you can feasibly can, you know, that you can do, and let's help these guys out here for sure, and get these things made. And what's your schedule look like for updates? I'm not even going to say if. Let's say when this gets funded. Like how good are you guys going to be about updates? Because I know that's a big thing in the community that people always want to know. They like to be in the loop on that stuff. We like to see prototypes. We like to see where paint is. Basically, like anytime you talk to the factory, we want to know.
Yeah. That's fine. Because honestly, one of the things is like, I mean, I'm showing you guys stuff that we already have. So if I've got it now, then that there's other things down the line, and I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem sharing things. So as things progress from the factory, of course, that's going to be one of the things that's going out there. I'm very big on trying to keep everybody informed, because that's what I want. We've had those times where I've backed Kickstarter projects and nothing. It's just crickets. And you're like, okay, what's going on? Do we have any updates? Is it anything? I mean, I even appreciate when somebody comes back and says, oh, hey, just to let you know, we haven't had anything back, or we just had a few tweaks here and there, but haven't had a lot of, information kicked back from the factory. So I always appreciate those things. So that's the goal, is to definitely be as active as possible, constantly giving those updates as we get them. As we start making more prototypes, as we start getting into wave 2, as we start getting things back from the factory, paint masters, whatever they come back with, definitely down with trying to get all that information out.
And we're really good with answering people. So like, I'm on the Toy Migos Discord. If there's any questions, shoot them out there. As soon as we get any kind of updates, I can throw them on there. Landon has answered every single message that has been sent so far his way. So we're very transparent and open to everything, including ideas, and because we're not going to stop here. So, other toy lines in the future, and your idea, something you might not have seen this time could be something that comes down in the future. Yeah. Also, I noticed a lot of people wanting to, they're like, oh, I really don't like the line, but I really like Samurai. Well, that's fine. You can just back Samurai. Like, there's no obligation.
Correct. Yeah, you don't have to go all
line.
Correct. Right. Yeah.
So you can get your 5 Samurai and be happy. Or, you can get your cowboy. There are going to be, the thing is, the reason we want to get funded is because there's so many stretch goals and so many extras we have to give you guys, that the faster we're back, the faster we can give you, that cool Oni head, or, the short fin Spartan, and, even more. You got to think that's only 2 characters. We still have more characters that we can, make heads for, or have heads ready for. Can't really say too much right now, but yeah, and then now you just have even more possibilities. So.
Yeah, and one of the big things now is, especially like with the Snake Eyes and Timber, people want animal companions, and I love animal companions. I think having that pairing of kind of your hero and their animal companion, I think that's really cool. So we actually have an animal companion. It's they're in the comic book, and one of the things I can say is that they're just as important as the Spartan himself. So they don't just kind of play a secondary role. They're just as important, and I would love to be able to put them on the shelf with them. I think that would really be awesome. So, nice. But that's something kind of down the line. And of course, if we get that funding and everything, then this is all stuff that we can start getting out there. If not, then we're going to have to, obviously wait until wave 2, or push things back into wave 3. So when people are like, oh, I really, really want that helmet. Hey, we can do that. We can do that now. We can go ahead, get everything funded, and start moving into the really cool stretch goals. and if not, then we have to wait, and then we'll have to wait until wave 2 or wave 3 to kind of start rolling those things
You want
out.
that Southern darkness? You gotta get these things funded, man.
You got
Yeah,
to back it. You got to back
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
So, heck yeah.
So yep.
All right. Anything else, Ernie?
No, that's it. I mean, again, do you have a place for the Kickstarter? I mean, where are these people going to go ahead and hear all this info and sign up?
The link's in the description below.
Okay.
Of the video already.
And what about for those listening at home?
Yeah,
or
so,
listening on their way to work or anything?
Okay.
Invincible. It's Invincible_Toys on Instagram is probably the best place to go. It does transition over. You can look up Invincible Toys on Facebook, but primarily Instagram is really the place to go, especially if you want to learn about the line, if you're interested in like how it all started, if you're interested in maybe making your own action figure line. We actually work through the whole process from, when everything started. I basically started from the bottom and worked the way up. So it has the concept drawings, it has the actual drawings where those were turned over to a professional artist and that artist did renders. And then it has like our 3D sculpts, then it goes into 3D turnarounds, and you can actually follow it through a whole process of making an action figure if that's what somebody wants to do. It has all of the pictures, all the pretty promotional pictures. It has all of the prototype pictures before anything was painted. It shows them in grayscale. It shows them fresh off the printer. All of those things for those people who are interested in the actual background story. And we get that a lot. People are like, hey, who is this guy? I've never even heard of Invincible Toys. It's like, this is the first time we heard of him. And now all of a sudden he's got a Kickstarter with these prototypes and everything. So things like this podcast is really awesome because it gets us out there. People get an opportunity to kind of learn about us and our personalities, what we're trying to do, what our goals are. But all of that stuff is there. It's all there on the Instagram for anybody who wants to follow it and kind of get an idea of where everything started from.
Awesome. Let's see. The Wrestling Hound has a question. If I get the pack where I get 2 figures, when do I get to choose what 2 figures? That's going to be in the backer kit after the campaign closes. You get to go in there and you can actually add stuff on if you want to in the backer kit. So you'll be able to go in there after it closes out and then solidify or change up if you want and figure it out all right there in the backer kit. It'll go out and they'll send a link out to you and you can adjust it accordingly.
Absolutely. 100%. And that's one of the things too, when you're ordering from places like Big Bad Toy Store, you don't have those options to add on, to do the add-ons. So if you're looking for the comic book, if you want to add the comic book at some point in time, you're not going to have the option to do that without going through the Kickstarter campaign. If you're looking for the grayscale, the artist proof figures, they're not listed on Big Bad Toy Store. Any of these stretch goals that we're going to be putting out, those aren't going to be listed on Big Bad Toy Store most likely, unless they reach out to us and let us know that they want to start carrying those. So that's kind of one of those things too. If you go and you do it directly through the Kickstarter campaign, then you'll be seeing all of those things first. You'll be getting all of the notifications. You'll be getting all the links to the shows and stuff like that we're doing to get in there and have an opportunity to listen to them. And then you'll be able to get in there and do all of these add-ons where you don't have those options with the other websites. Now, if that's the only kind of route that you have because you're doing international or you're in Canada or so on and so forth, that's kind of understandable. But
right.
Yeah, if you're in the US, the Kickstarter campaign is kind of the best place to go as far as options wise.
Yeah, or even if, it's the end of the campaign, you backed, let's just say 5 figures, you wanted all samurais, and then you were like, you know what, let me get a cowboy. You can change your mind. Once you're in the backer kit, you can kind of pick and choose from there. So
yep.
Yeah.
So that's the quickest or the answer to your question, Hound. In the backer kit is when you can take care of all that. And like you said, if you forgot something or you're like, I want to get this guy too, you can do that. So So yeah, I definitely like what I see. I know I'm going to be picking up a few samurais myself. So
I like the samurais a lot.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And again, guys, like Seth was saying, he's been a part of the podcast family for a long time too, and he is in the Discord. So any questions after this, hit up Seth
Yeah.
there, and I'm sure he can get you the answers
Mhm.
to the best of his ability, and maybe even get some more info out there, because as you guys know, the Chat Migos Toy Migos Discord is going off 24/7,
It never
and
stops.
he's been in there constantly as well too. So if there's a question that you want to shoot over, or even like Landon was saying, an idea for later, hit it up, because that's where this whole concept came from, was just ideas of what somebody wanted and thought of, and it goes from there. You have the options of grayscales, but in order for all that to happen, you guys got it back now, as we always say with every Kickstarter from anybody we've ever had on. Back it now, see how it goes, and it goes from there, and it can only grow. But if you don't back now, then you're
It
just
doesn't
always
charge
sitting
you.
wondering. Correct.
Doesn't charge you to the end, and it doesn't charge you if it doesn't go through.
Right.
Correct.
So you have no worries. And yeah, man, I'm there in the Discord. Andre actually put me onto Discord, and now I'm a Discord fiend. Like, I just go through all the feeds, and I'm just like looking at everything, seeing stuff I never even knew existed.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm all through the Discords. I'm on most of the toy groups, from the Cabal to freaking Toy Migos Facebook group as well. So you can hit me up on there as well, or even personally,
Yep.
You'll find your answer out there.
And where can we keep up with you, Seth?
I'm on Instagram, Seth.Horton.33. Also, Invincible Toys, Invincible_Toys on Instagram is where you can reach us. And then, if you're listening to this, you can message me on Facebook, Seth Horton. Probably find me on the Toy Migos group.
Okay.
Or the ROU podcast. And I can't say the word, but you know the group.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And Landon, where can we keep up with you at?
Yeah, so if you want to reach out and email me, it's landonstewart84@yahoo.com. Instagram is probably the best place to go, at Invincible_Toys. You can check us out on Facebook under Invincible Toys. And but probably the best bet is through email or going through the Instagram. As far as I know, I try to answer everything that's on Instagram, whether, it's just if somebody posts about us, if somebody lets us know that they've backed the line, if it's somebody with ideas, any of those.
Sonny's exclusive review
Chrome
of the cowboy. Yeah.
Or
he has that up on his page right now.
His chrome.
Did he chrome out cowboy?
Yep, he has his early chrome cowboy out there.
Get him a chrome Spartan.
Right.
Yeah. If we can get some gold foil, totally down with that.
Yeah.
I love talking to people. I really do. I love getting in there. I love hearing what people have to say. I try to tell everybody thank you who's expressed interest in the line and stuff like that. That's not just if you get something from me, that's me answering you. And it's not just, a cut and paste, not a cut and paste thank you or anything like that. I am on there all the time. That is me, saying thank you. And that's it. Like, anybody who's currently backed the line, who supports the line, has posted about the line. It doesn't matter whether you've helped go and support the line, or if you just maybe posted about it, you talk about it, or whatever the case is. We appreciate all of the help in making these things come a reality and stuff like that. So yeah, get on there. I will talk to you about whatever. Say hi, we can chat it up, no problem.
Heck yeah. And Ernie, where can we keep up with you?
Here, sir, with They're Not Dolls every Thursday night around 8 p.m. ish, Pacific Standard Time. Be sure and follow our Facebook group that we were talking about, the Discord. Definitely, our moderators have it up in the chat. If you need something from me, I have my own page in there, so you can message me because I don't understand all the mechanisms.
Channel, your own channel.
Yeah, there you go. See, I don't even know what it is. Just look up my name and you'll see it. But the Fallen Fed on Instagram, How We Do Disney, as we are back home, and every Monday night with Star Wars talk for the Sarlacc Digest podcast.
Sweet. All right. Well, we do have kind of an announcement about Tuesday. So the Tuesday Quickie Minis are over now. Last Tuesday's Quickie Mini was the last Quickie Mini. They are done, but there will still be a show. The show has been rebranded, and I actually had the what is it,
it's Vintage Toys with Seth. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Vintage Toys. I show off my
Vintage
vintage
Toys
collection. We talk variants. And
Yeah,
stuff.
I was a guest on a show. I don't know if they want me to say anything yet, but I was a guest on a show, and I let the what is it?
Cat out of the bag.
Yes, I let the cat out of the bag, and so as soon as that show goes live, I'll be sharing it. So make sure to tune into it, and I break down what the new Tuesday show is going to be, the name of it, the concept, the whole deal. So that show I think comes out on Sunday, so that's a little hint of what it is. And if you don't check it out there, then you'll find out on Tuesday, and it's a lot of fun. So definitely come back on Tuesday. Come check out the new show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh man, the more bots in there. All right. And check out you can follow me, Cheney180 on Instagram. I always forget that. And next week we'll be back, but next week will be our OG Super Crew episode. So that will be myself, Ernie here, Dario, Sergeant Bananas, and the one and only Adam. So you don't want to miss that. Those are always fun. So yes. With that being said, I want to thank all the mods for hanging in there and helping us out tonight, and shout out to the guys in the Discord, and Hound finally came back to the Discord, so shout out to Hound, and I think that's about it. Anything else, Ernie?
No, that's it. Don't forget to go check these guys out. Hit up Landon and Seth, and follow everything we talked about. We got all the links in the description there. We've mentioned the Instagram. Go back to Kickstarter now. Get in early so we can see some of those stretch goals. And be sure and share it with your friends.
Me and Ernie won our Oni mask, Oni helmeted.
Yeah,
samurais.
I saw that.
Oh, I'll tell you guys what. We'll get you some masks.
All right.
That sounds awesome. Very cool.
Heck yes. All right. Well, with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for hopping on. Once again, for taking the time out. I know it's super duper late where you guys are right now, so thank you for staying up and hopping on.
Miss my chance.
And
miss my chance.
And as always, I'm Cheney180.
I'm the Fallen Fett.
You say your names now.
Say bye.
I'm Seth.
There you go.
There you go.
And I'm Landon with Invincible Toys.
There it is.
And remember, guys, they're not dolls.
I love the music. Like I vibe out to it sometimes.
Dude, we hear that so much.